ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, November 5th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour, it's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We do that every day at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Coming up today, it's Wednesday. That means we get to talk to Ryan Crisp. He's the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. There's a lot going on. It is crossover season, so we've got volleyball to talk about, soccer to talk about, of course, basketball, football. You get a couple of opportunities to see volleyball this weekend or early weekend, Thursday and Friday. So Ryan's going to tell us all about that. Soccer is important because yesterday, number 17 Marshall defeated UCF 2-0. That always warms my heart. The Herd is going to be the third seed in the Sun Belt Conference tournament in Morgantown, taking on number 6 Georgia State. That is coming up Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Number 18 Kentucky got the win. Actually, it was a draw. My apologies. Kentucky had a draw with Old Dominion 1 apiece. So Kentucky will host the 8th seed Coastal Carolina Sunday. That's going to be at 3 o'clock in Sun Belt tournament play. And then the 16th seed WVU beats South Carolina 2-1. Number 16, I apologize. There's so many numbers here. So number 16 WVU gets the win over South Carolina 2-1. So now it's the second seed, and the Mountaineers will host 7 seed Old Dominion in the Sun Belt Tournament Sunday at 3. Marshall's got to go and play in Morgantown. So the Herd will be in Morgantown. Opportunity for Marshall to face off against WVU again. Will the result be any different? That's going to be the big question there. But Marshall has got to get past first in the tournament. Georgia State. And, of course, West Virginia is going to have to get past Old Dominion, which, again, tied with Kentucky. So that's a look at what's happening with soccer. For all those details and more, I know Ryan Crisp is going to tell us a little bit about tickets and everything like that. So that's coming up later on. Of course, we get the high school football rankings as well. And the teams that in our immediate area, and when I mean by immediate area, the teams that we broadcast, Huntington is second in Class 4A, and then in Class 3A, Spring Valley is number 7. And the Highlanders, only reason they're second is because, well, they've had to go out of state to get tougher competition, and they've lost those out-of-state games, but I get why they're doing it. Again, you're looking for tougher competition to get yourself ready for the 4A playoff. So that's what it looks like. And staying with basketball just for a second, since basketball season's underway, number 9 Kentucky beat Nicholls State 77-51. 15 points for Colin Chandler to lead the Cats in the win. And WVU got the win over Mount St. Mary's 70-54. The other big thing, actually it's probably the biggest thing that happened last night, is the selection committee with its rankings. So these are games played through Saturday, November 1st. So the first rankings are out, and the committee releases the top 25, and then it continues to rank until it gets to the group of 5 team, the best group of 5 team. And so Memphis is selected as the best team from the remaining conferences. Now, Memphis is not in the top 25, so it would be an automatic 12 seed. Now, if Memphis should become ranked and actually get above the rankings, it would have a higher seed. But as it stands right now, since it's the lowest ranked team, but it's also a mandatory team, you're going to have one from the group of 5, group of 6. You have to rank until you get to that first team, and that's Memphis. So these are the teams that are in. Ohio State would be in today at number 1. Indiana would be in at number 2. Texas A&M in at number 3. Alabama's in at number 4. Georgia's in at number 5. Ole Miss is in at number 6. BYU's in at number 7. Texas Tech is in at number 8. Number 9, Oregon in. Number 10, Notre Dame, in. Number 11, Texas, not in. Number 12, Oklahoma, not in. The reason being is because Memphis is going to push one of those teams out. Another team that has to be in this is a team from the ACC. Virginia is 14th. So Virginia's not even in the top 12, and it gets in as an automatic qualifier. There you have it. Virginia, the ACC, not looking good in this thing. So the first team out, Texas. The second team out, Oklahoma. This thing is going to change drastically the next few weeks. There might be some movement. Tennessee's 25th at 6-3. Pittsburgh's in this thing at 24 at 7-2. You look at the top to bottom. Louisville is 7-1 and comes in at number 15. Vanderbilt 16th at 7-2. Could Vanderbilt make some noise? It's interesting to look at these. Again, this is the initial committee rankings, and then right now this thing nullifies all other rankings because these are the only rankings we care about. Ohio State could be ranked third in the AP poll. It doesn't matter. Number 1 in the college football playoff committee rankings. So throw the other polls out. They matter, but when it comes to this thing, not so much. Memphis. Is that the team that can maybe pull an upset or two? Could Memphis possibly get a win, get a couple of wins, kind of show that there's some actually good football being played outside of the Power Four? I'd be interested to see. JMU probably wants to make an argument that it belongs, and that's the opponent for the Thundering Herd this week. And we're going to preview that one on Saturday in depth as we are going to get set for our pregame show, 9 a.m. We're going to be over on the West Lot, 9 a.m. And it's the 75 game. Hopefully you've seen by now the helmets that are going to be worn. They look spectacular. There's a lot of things coming up on Saturday. They've got, and some of this is Ryan Crisp stuff that we're going to talk to him about. But there's going to be a deal for you if you come in early, get you into the stadium. There's going to be a special price deal for you there. The Thunder Walk, there's going to actually be free biscuits at the Thunder Walk. 9 a.m., 9:40 is when the Thunder Walk is scheduled. So try to get as many Herd fans as possible out there. Are you going to be up at 9 a.m. tailgating? Are you going to be up at 8 a.m. getting your gear ready, 7 a.m.? Tell me what your game day plans are going to be when it comes to invading the West Lot. I want to know what your setup's going to look like, and also I want to know what's on the menu. And by the way, I got to give a shout out. I know my guys over at the Thundercast are going to be there early. They took good care of us last time. Brought me over some take-home and some here's to go care package just for you guys. So we're going to accept all of your tailgating care packages. You got pepperoni rolls, bring them over. I'll be there. Bill Cornwell will be there. Our producer on site is Mike Koger. He'll be there. So there'll be 3 of us. If you want to bring like pepperoni rolls, breakfast biscuits, anything. We're soliciting our breakfast now for the tailgate show and the pregame, which will be 9 a.m. Saturday morning right here on 93.7 and ESPN 94.1. At AM 930. Okay, we're going to get to the text line a little bit later on. Also, we're going to hear from Ryan Crisp when we come back from break on this edition of The Drive. It's ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Transform your outdoors all year long with Roberts Lawn Care and Landscaping. Family owned and operated, serving the tri-state area with expert landscaping services. From vibrant spring gardens to cozy fall patios and everything in between. Roberts specializes in sustainable landscaping that thrives through every season, residential or commercial. Roberts creates personalized solutions to bring your vision to life. Call Roberts today at 304-633-5822 because your dream yard deserves 4 seasons of care.
Cold weather's on its way, and what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests, they sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
This fall, let the Car Ferry bring a little magic to your driveway at Mark Porter Auto Group. With locations in Pomeroy and Jackson, Ohio, and Ashland, Kentucky, they make it easy to get into a safe, reliable vehicle. Every used car goes through a 117-point inspection, fall into a safe, reliable vehicle, and let the Car Ferry guide you to Mark Porter Auto Group in Pomeroy, Jackson, and Ashland, or shop 24/7 at markporterautogroup.com.
Hi, I'm Nori, and over the years, my mother and I have opened our homes to those who need it most, and it's been so rewarding. I bet you didn't know that some adults who have unfortunately been mistreated need a place to call home in West Virginia. It happens more than you know. They may have some physical or mental limitations, and they need your help. Everyone deserves a place to call their own. I can tell you from my experience, it's worth it.
If you have an open heart and want to open your home, Adult Family Care may be the right fit for you. Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an Adult Family Care Home Finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HAPPY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HAPPY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HAPPY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, Metro News Talk Line coming up tomorrow, 10:06 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, Dave's going to be at the stadium on Saturday. He'll be there with Mark Martin, who will be patrolling the tailgate lot, probably looking for some of those biscuits because they're going to be giving away during the Thunder Walk. To tell us more about that and everything coming up, it is crossover season, and no one handles it better than Ryan Crisp, the Associate Athletics Director of Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. And I guess fan engagement means bringing biscuits to all the fans during the Thunder Walk.
I mean, I don't know if there's a better Thunder Walk we're going to have than giving away free biscuits thanks to Wendy's at Thunder Walk this week. So we know it's an early kick, and we know Thunder Walk's nice, bright and early at 9:40 in the morning. But hopefully the biscuits will help cheer people up and get some fans out there.
You know, if you're trying to entice Marshall students to wake up early, free food. You definitely
free food's always the go-to.
Yeah, you've earned your title of director of fan engagement with that move alone. But no, that's pretty cool. So you're going to get a chance to get a little early breakfast on the tailgate lot as the Thunder Walk is set for 9:40. We got that 9 a.m. airtime for us locally. The game is on the ESPN Pluses or on the TVs at noon. And how do you just get ready for a 9 a.m. tailgate, 9:40 Thunderwalk, noon kick? I mean, you don't do that very often. So does anything change other than, okay, we got to go to bed early?
Yeah, no, from our standpoint, I don't think much changes. We get everything ready to go on Friday night anyways. Now, from a fan standpoint and from a tailgater standpoint, I definitely think you got to pack the car the night before and be ready to roll. Have the cooler packed, ice it down in the morning, and just be ready to roll, because in the morning you don't have time to do it all. And then if you show up late, then your tailgating time is basically gone. By the time you get there, it's like, oh, time to go in the stadium. So I think you just got to be ready to roll the night before.
That was my question, and hopefully we'll get some responses. What's the game plan for Saturday with the 9 a.m. tailgate? Of course, the game is on ESPN2 at high noon. It's going to be more fun in person. So we'll get to that in a few minutes with everything that's happening. Let's get caught up on everything. It is crossover season, and that's Ryan's favorite time of the year because that means he's at Marshall every single day. At this point, I think you have accommodations somewhere either in the Shuey or in the Cam Henderson Center to kind of, you don't go home, you just wait, right? Is that your deal?
It is. I mean, this time of year is why you get in college athletics, right? So not only is it crossover season where you have lots of sports coming all together, but it's also postseason time for some of your teams, which is obviously the ultimate goal, and you want to win championships. And so it is a really, really fun time of year. Yes, it requires a lot of time commitment. But luckily for us in athletics, you have a family that's bought in, you have friends that are bought in, and it's just what you do. And so it's not a job. It doesn't feel like work. And then when my kids and wife are able to come to the game and I'm able to see them there, and they help and they participate and they help me do what I do, it's a pretty cool deal when you take a step back and look at it all.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, you got to definitely have a very supportive family, and I'm sure they'll be out there supporting you at 9:40 on Saturday with the Thunderwalk and the Biscuits. But let's talk soccer. Thundering Herd securing the number 3 seed, so that means Sunday in Morgantown against number 6 Georgia State. Opportunity for the Thundering Herd to kind of go into Morgantown, get the win over Georgia State, then get a little revenge on WVU if that's the team it will face, and then possibly take on Kentucky, talk about a Sun Belt Conference Championship, NCAA tournament. We're hoping that the Herd does well. It's going to be a little different. Marshall's not hosting. We're used to the Herd hosting, so what's different for Herd fans this time around is Marshall's got to travel.
Yeah, really the difference is if you're looking for tickets to those games, no matter where they're being played, make sure you go through the host school. We will not be able to sell tickets through our office or through our systems. So if you're looking to go to Morgantown for the first round or the second round, make sure you go to West Virginia's website and buy tickets through that. And then the championship game, right? Yeah, we don't know where it's going to be, right? So it could be in Lexington, it could be in Huntington. And so if it is in Huntington and the Wildcats get upset in Lexington in one of the first couple rounds, then we will host it in Huntington for the following Sunday, so everything will go through us. But really it's just a matter of working through the other team's ticket office and their website. And then obviously, I think for Sunday's game, I think it'll be okay for you to purchase tickets whenever. But if it is us and the Mountaineers in that second round game on Wednesday night, I wouldn't wait a second to buy tickets to that game. I would buy them as soon as you know that you're going and as soon as you know that the matchup is set, because tickets will go fast for that one for sure.
Yeah, and the thing that maybe remind a lot of people is this is different than regular season, so you're not guaranteed a spot. You might have been a season ticket holder all year long for the Herd. That doesn't matter, especially on the road, but that means everybody's got a shot at tickets. So to your point, get them now if you want them. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, the Herd does get to play home on that championship game, and so and how's that work compared to season tickets? If you have season tickets, and I know we're really looking ahead, but I'm very optimistic, you're not going to be able to get your tickets. If you're a season ticket holder, you're going to get your tickets first, right? Am I understanding that still correctly? And that's if we get to the championship.
Yeah, if we get to the championship game or when we host an NCAA game this year, you will have first right of refusal to your seats. Usually we provide about a 24-hour window just because it is such a tight turnaround, right? We got to act fast. So usually it's a 24-hour turnaround. You have 24 hours to claim your tickets. And then if you don't do that window, they get cleared out. But as a season ticket holder, it's one of the main perks of being a season ticket holder, especially in the soccer program, in the soccer world, because of our demand, because of the capacity, that you have the first right of refusal to your seats, which is a huge upsell. So, yes, that would take place for the Sun Belt Championship game, and then as well for the NCAA tournament games that we're able to host at home.
It also gives Chris Grassi just another reason to go around in every staff meeting going, hey, we need more seats. Ryan, anybody, we need more seats. I'm sure that the Marshall fans have learned by now, you don't get your season tickets, you probably don't get your ticket at all. So definitely a big perk there. But that's not all that's coming up. You got volleyball. That starts Thursday, 1 p.m., Friday at 4 p.m. Now, the reason for the Thursday 1 p.m. game for volleyball is we've got women's basketball as well at 6 p.m. So you're starting off with volleyball. You got the volleyball floor down, ready to go, and it's the final home slate for the volleyball team against App State. That's Friday as well at 4 p.m. So what's coming up that maybe will pique some fans' interest, maybe haven't been out to a game just yet? This is your last chance. So anything special going on there?
Yeah, one, I think it's just a big series overall. And so the way the volleyball Sun Belt tournament works is actually when you play a West opponent, it doesn't matter. And their final series is on the road against a West opponent, so that series does not affect the overall seeding for the tournament. So this weekend against App State, they got to win one out of the two games. If they win one out of the two, then they're going to be in postseason play. If they sweep, there's a chance that they can move, up another seed and get all the way to the 4 seed, which would be incredible. So just a big weekend for them to guarantee postseason play, an opportunity they didn't have last year. So an improvement in year one of Heather Stout's first year. And so we're excited for them to have that opportunity. They're playing really well. They play really well at home. As you mentioned, the 1 o'clock start, we're doing a fun little bingo during that game. So get a bingo card as you walk in, and you fill out the squares as you see something happen during the game. If you hit for bingo, you're going to go home with some cool prizes. And then for Friday, it is Senior Day. So it'll take place after the game, the actual ceremony. But obviously just a special day, especially in some of our Olympic sport programs where you have a 4-year senior that's gone through the battles and all that kind of stuff. It means a little more to them. And so we get to honor our seniors. And once again, hopefully we clinch on Thursday. If not, we'll have an opportunity on Friday again, and then maybe playing for a higher seed on Friday. So just a big weekend, a big couple games for them before the Sun Belt tournament starts next Thursday.
Yeah, it's App State as well. That's all you need to know. If you're an older Herd fan, you're a veteran Herd fan, it's App State. That's all anyone has to tell you. It's a big rivalry there. And, of course, I don't know if you got Rodney Casey setting up the time lapse, but you're going to take the volleyball floor up and then put the basketball accoutrements all around. There's a lot of things that have happened with the Henderson Center as of late that maybe fans haven't noticed just yet if you didn't get a chance to get out to the exhibition games. But it's looking fresher. The new floor looked really good. You've got the new end zone seats on the other side. Last year you fixed up the seats for the band, and everything's looking a lot better. And those seats kind of come with a few perks. I'm assuming they're all sold out, right? Or if they're not, this is your opportunity to tell people about them.
Yeah, for sure. No, so we have made some upgrades in the Henderson Center. Another one is in the main concourse. We've added 3 or 4 wraps on walls that just make them look a little better, and a cool little fan experience area where you can check it out for yourself. But we got Hassan Whiteside up there, and we got Tavion Kinsey. So are you as tall as Hassan? Can you jump as high as Tavion? Cool things like that that I think our fans are going to love. And then, in arena, like you mentioned last year, we upgraded the bleachers for the band and the student section, which was a huge upgrade for them, not only from a look standpoint, but also from a safety standpoint. And then on the opposite end, we have new Thunder tables, as we're calling them. Those seats are $500 a piece. It comes with your ticket to the game as well as service. So a waiter or waitress will come up to you and, get you what you need for the game, which is a really cool perk. And so they are selling well. We've kind of done a little bit of a quiet launch. We haven't really gone hard at it yet. And so look for that towards the end of this week. But we have sold quite a few already. They won't last long once we officially go hard to the public. I know that just from what we've already sold from a soft launch. And so those are happening. And then we're also looking into, and about 98% of the way, of making some adjustments to our box area upstairs. So we have this 5 skybox areas in basketball, and we're looking at making that kind of like the Dutch Miller deck is, where a ticket includes food and drink throughout the game in that area and make it more of a club level. And so we're really, really close to making that happen and making that public as well. And have sold a lot of additional seats in that area. There's not many to go. So we're excited about that area as well. So, yeah, some new initiatives, some different initiatives, some new looks, not only to make the Henderson Center look better, but also to hopefully generate some additional revenue, which we all know in any part of life is important, but especially in this time in college athletics, it's the number one thing we need right now. And so any creative ways we can do to create additional revenue, we're going to try to do that.
Okay, and again, the Thunder tables, that's $500 for the season, right? Or did I heard that right?
That is correct. $500 for the seat.
That's a deal. I was making sure I heard that. That's a pretty good deal there for what you get.
It is. It's a good deal. And once again, we don't ever want to, gouge somebody or make it so expensive that it's not affordable for people. And so we felt like that was a fair price for what you got, the benefits that you get to enjoy. But then also it does help us financially in terms of we're going to make more money than what we did on the seats there before. And so it does help us financially, and it provides our fans with a great experience there.
Ryan Crisp is with us, the Associate Athletics Director of Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. So basketball and volleyball tomorrow, Thursday at 1 for volleyball. Basketball against Northern Kentucky at 6 o'clock for Julie Folks and her squad. Got that win against Buffalo to get things started and the win in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. And then we get on to football. That is coming up Saturday, as we alluded to. We go on the air locally here, 9 a.m., and then it's going to be a noon kick. Get to the tailgate lot now. Just go ahead and you can't do it now, but camp out as soon as you can because the Thunder Walk's going to be pretty cool. We've talked about the biscuits, but you're encouraging fans to get there, kind of beat the rush. You've got a lunchtime kick deal that's going on that you've advertised on the social media accounts, and that seems like that's a pretty good deal if you're trying to maybe go bring your family, make sure it's affordable, they can get something to drink, something to eat. What's that about?
Yeah, I think it's probably the best deal we've ever done, especially when it comes to football. We started post-game surveys this year for our first time, and we got a lot of feedback throughout the year on certain things, and we've made adjustments throughout the year, and I hope fans have seen those that, have submitted feedback one way or another. And so we've done a lot of things to help improve that. And another one that we're trying to improve is affordability. And so the meal deal is one heck of a deal. It's $20, which includes a ticket to the game. And then when you get to the game, you're going to be able to get a hot dog, you're going to be able to get a box of popcorn, you're going to be able to get a fountain drink, all for $20. And so if you look at it and you go to the concession stand and you buy those things individually, I think it's going to cost you $17. And so basically you're going to get a ticket for $3 if you look at it that way, right? No matter which way you look at it, it's a great deal. And so once again, yes, targeted towards families, targeted towards those people that maybe were on the fence of coming, that we're trying to push over the edge and get them to come. And then they get to see how great it is and how amazing the experience is. And then obviously this game alone, right, being the 75 week and all that good stuff, it's special by itself. But then all the other touches that you'll see within the game make it truly a memorable experience and something that is probably my favorite football game that we do all year.
Yeah, this is always a meaningful game. Talked to Coach Gibson yesterday, and he was asked about why this game was important, and we'll hear his comments a little bit later on. But for you, Ryan, as well, someone who has been around Marshall and Huntington for a long time, you know how significant this game is, how significant this point in time is. How have you been able to maybe make this game important, relevant, and still respectful of the people who lost their lives in that plane crash. I mean, I know that's got to be a challenge to try to make sure that you understand what the game is about and why you're going through all of this and what you're doing and how you're trying to honor everyone who passed away in that tragedy.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, one, just telling the story as it is, right? There's no reason to put any extra hoopla on it. The story enough is powerful that when you tell that story, it means more here, obviously. I always like to tell people that maybe you're coming here for a visit on applying for a job, or if we're meeting with recruits or whatever it may be. Obviously, Marshall has a story that no one else can tell. And yes, that came from a tragedy, but it's about the resilience and about the rebuild that really makes this place special. And so it's obviously just a story that we want to tell, that we're proud to tell. And then I think the second step of that is, working really, really closely with the 75 alumni chapter and the 75 families. Jared Call, Matt Lewis, Amy Prestera, working with them on making sure that what we're doing is in the right fashion, and honoring everyone we can in the best way possible. And so telling the stories, honoring the people, telling the stories maybe no one's heard before, and then also, from our football team being willing to wear the special uniforms and the special helmets. We've had to play for the 75 on the video board all week, which is super cool, and we'll leave it up for next week as well. And so it's just a really cool deal, a really cool story that we get to tell, that we get to showcase it at this game. And yeah, working with them, with that chapter, has been amazing and incredible, and they've been so helpful in making sure that we're doing it the right way, and we're doing it in the way that those family members would be appreciative of.
Ryan Crisp is with us, the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. So a busy week for you. We didn't even talk about the fact that the Marshall men won at UMass, 1-0, also victorious in the MAC Sunbelt Challenge. Now, this isn't part of the MAC Sunbelt Challenge, but it is in my head. It's the Herd at Toledo on Saturday, 2 p.m. That means we're getting closer to the Herd actually being home at the Cam Henderson Center. I know we went over some of the things with the women's game, but I know you got to be excited for that as well, getting the fans back at the Henderson Center for the men.
Yeah, no, we definitely are. Like you said, next Wednesday, a week from today, 7 p.m. in the Henderson Center. Couldn't be more excited to welcome people back again for the first official game within there. And hopefully we can go on the road and get another win, a tough place to play in Toledo. But if they can come back 2-0, I think our crowd's going to be really, really strong for that Wednesday game. I know people have missed it. They're excited for it. They're itching for it. And so it's going to be great to get people back in the Henderson Center for sure.
Should be fun. And, of course, again, for the Herd fans that maybe can't get to the women's game tomorrow, there's going to be all those new additions in the concourse, and I know more are coming. Please tell me you're going to have eventually a little booth, an area where you can pick the Steve Cotton call and you hear it, and then you have to replicate it. And, you get to put the headset on and everything. I mean, what do you think? Or should I, as I've been told before when it comes to marketing decisions, stay back in my lane? What do you think?
No, I think I love it. Now, what I need you to do is find the financials for it. But the idea itself, I love. Let's do it.
Okay, you know what? If that's all it takes, come on now. Let's make that happen. We could have an interactive. We could have the voice of the Herd, Steve Cotton, on the interactive screen here, and follow me along. And it's got to be touchscreen. Like, you pick it. And the Thundering Herd won its first game in the NCAA tournament, or you could hear have you ever heard of Buffalo Dance? When they got their ticket punch, you could pick the call, and then you got to replicate it. And I'm sure the kids would love that. And it could be sponsored by somebody.
Yeah, let's call Mr. Kurtner and see if that sounds like a great Kindred Communications sponsorship opportunity.
Absolutely, I'll work on that. I'll I'll have a meeting with him tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get that financial supporting. But no, I think that would be cool just to have some interactive things like that. And I know you're working on stuff you probably can't tell me about right now, but it's really. I think that's fun that you're doing all these things in the concourse and trying to make that more of a fun area before the game, and especially targeting the kids. I love to see how many kids that kind of, try to jump as high as their favorite Herd player of the past and other things like that. So that's awesome that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're excited, and we love welcoming our fans and making them enjoy the game as much as possible. And I know as a parent myself, entertaining your kids throughout those games is important. So always looking for ways to make us better for sure.
Ryan Crisp is with us, the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. Busy week for him. So if you see him, tell him he's doing a great job, and we will see you definitely this week. We got volleyball tomorrow. We have got basketball tomorrow. We got football on Saturday, and, of course, it's going to be a fun time for the Herd all throughout the week. Ryan, good talking to you again. Thanks for doing it.
All right, Paul. Appreciate it. Go Herd.
There you have it. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Polka Valley Bank. Polka Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Polka Valley Bank locations today. Polka Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Polka Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% to help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, John Garden, 304-525-1116. And in Barbersville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100.
Friday night under the lights. It's more than just football. It's community. Frank's Place is proud to support Cabell Midland football and the athletes who give it their all on the field. From the first kickoff to the final whistle, let's stand together and cheer them on. And remember, 21 means 21. If you choose to celebrate, please do it responsibly. Never drink and drive. Together, we can keep our community safe on and off the field. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-345-2789. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-345-2789 or biglou.com.
Listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Wednesday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is open. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's get to it. We've got some good stuff coming in. Texter says, Paul, in years past for the 75 game or the fountain ceremony, family members of the 75 would come to town. The Lattermans and Tommy Shoebridge come to mind. And I always thought that it was a brave act on their part. There were others, but I have not heard any of those names in quite a while, and I assume they've been slowed by age. Are you aware of any family who Marshall receives at this time to remember? I think he hit it right there. For some of the families, for example, the Lattermans, time has started to catch up with a lot of people. You know, Mo Latterman, I haven't talked to him in a while, but Mo, his brother Tito, I haven't seen him in a while. I know that with Abe passing many years ago, Abe came down. If you're not familiar with the Latterman story, it definitely was heartwarming, and I got to meet Abe many years ago, and he came into town, and we struck up a really good friendship, and he passed away several years ago, and it just was it was heartbreaking. And I don't think the family has been able to get back as much, and also some of the people that were initially helping with the scholarship fund, time has just caught up with a lot of us, and they're no longer with us. And then I haven't heard anything yet as far as anybody, maybe different news we haven't heard from in a long time. I'm interested on, and I want to catch up with, if he'll do it, I want to catch up with Steve Chapman. Yeah, Steve Chapman, has been involved with a lot of these people over the years. And there was a statue presentation, that was unveiled, the Tuscaloosa 4 in Alabama. And I know Steve was there. I know Keith Morehouse went down as well. And it was a presentation of a statue of Tuscaloosa natives, Freddie Wilson, Joe Hood, Robert Van Horn, Larry Sanders, and it basically commemorates them. They were among some of the first black athletes from Tuscaloosa on athletic scholarships at Major University, and all four of them from Tuscaloosa. And so there's a statue of all four of them that's now on display, and hopefully some of those family members, if we haven't seen them already or met them, they will come up for the fountain ceremony. And that's going to be next week. We'll probably get some more details. Because, again, the fountain ceremony is a little different. Student government puts that on. The athletic department participates, but student government is the one that's really heading that up, the university. But I think time is starting to catch up with a lot of people. Unfortunately, we're a long way in now, and it's going to fall on people who have connections but do not have direct connections. Like Coach Gibson, for example, he wasn't around until 1972. Now, you heard his comment yesterday, if you were listening, about what this means, and that's a good place here, because talking to him yesterday, one of the members of the media from Channel 8, new to the area, doesn't know much about the 75 as well. So they're learning. A lot of the kids, a lot of students are learning about the 75 game. And that brought up a great comment from Coach Gibson just about teaching about the 75.
So it started way back in fall camp. We had the cemetery run during fall camp. We watched the We Are Marshall movie. We've had some of the former players, the Herb brothers, talk to our team about what it means. And we had Logan Osborne talk to the team today, which was awesome. And, Logan basically shared his story. He could have went anywhere he wanted his senior year. And he said the two reasons he stayed here, he wanted to win a championship and he wanted to play in this game. So, that resonates with our guys. I mean, a guy that just played with some of the kids sitting in this room listening to him, and, it just means more. It means more, and we got a lot of new faces around here, but our kids have embraced it, and it's special. As you can see, our locker room, we've put these logos up. It's just we're going to honor it, we're going to embrace it, and we're going to play for them. And not only this week, but every week. But this week it's a little extra special. Yeah,
this is a special week because this is the closest home game to the events. So it's the 75 game. But back to the point there, there's going to be a lot of people that are slowing down, and we're going to maybe see less and less of them. We're not going to have that many direct connections to this, 10, 15, 20 years maybe. And so it's good that these things are being preserved and these stories are being preserved. There are a lot of people that covered the event no longer with us. Ernie Salvatore, longtime sports writer for the Herald-Dispatch, on the scene. And some of those firsthand accounts we're not going to have around much longer, and some of those firsthand stories are not going to be with us much longer. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to – and then again, I could be surprised. There could be someone like the Latterman family. They hadn't ever come to Huntington for one of these fountain ceremonies, and then Abe comes down, and this kicks off, I thought, really a great partnership. And, of course, the Marcella Latterman Memorial Scholarship Fund. And I remember that because you don't know this, but I have and it's kind of worn out now. The spine is wore out, but I still carry it around. Those guys presented to me a binder with the Latterman logo for the fund and with my name on it. So I have a binder, a leather binder, and I wore the spine out, and that's fine. I'm going to keep it for as long as I can in use. It's a binder from them with my name on it. And so I remember the Lattermans every single day, and I have used this. It has not gone out of service since it was given to me. And I think that Ted Wilson, when he was still with us, actually got that for me as well. So that's something that you don't hear about, just the connections, the stories, the people that you've met that have come together after the tragedy. So that's an important fiber to kind of hopefully keep strong. We got to hit the break, come back. We're going to wrap this up. I got a couple more of your texts to get into. We'll do that when we continue on this edition of The Drive. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Attention Herd fans, we're turning our passion for sports into giving back at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. This November, bring in non-perishable canned goods for a food drive benefiting the Huntington City Mission, and you'll be entered to win free meals for a year at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Enjoy all your favorite dishes on the house. One lucky donor will score this amazing prize. Your contribution makes a real difference. Let's rally together and support our community. Drop off your donations, enter to win, and enjoy the game with us.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
BrodyNash.com, Century 21's top realtor since 2015. Proudly serving West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky. BrodyNash.com, real estate expertise you can trust. Hedgecock Studio Professional Photography, we capture what you imagine. And Best Deal Equipment, tractors, skid steers, excavators, dozers, and on-the-spot financing. Visit 5000 Ripley Road, Cottageville, West Virginia. Cabell Midland football wraps up their regular season this Friday. Listen to the game on your new home for the Knights, 927 and 985 The Planet. The Knights are on the road this Friday, matching up against Parkersburg South. Cabell Midland Knights football on 927 and 985 The Planet is presented by Marshall Orthopedics. Get ready for hard-fought battles and unforgettable plays that keep the excitement going through the final whistle. The Knights play here, 927-985 The Planet rocks. Cabell Midland football from Kindred Communications.
Friday night under the lights. It's more than just football. It's community. Frank's Place is proud to support Cabell Midland football and the athletes who give it their all on the field. From the first kickoff to the final whistle, let's stand together and cheer them on. And remember, 21 means 21. If you choose to celebrate, please do it responsibly. Never drink and drive. Together, we can keep our community safe on and off the field. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We're wrapping up today's edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's get through your text quickly. Texter says, Paul, have a really good feeling regarding Saturday's game. I'm feeling one of those Marshall miracles are on the horizon. Something unthinkable always happens during the 75 game. The Dukes go down 34-31 off a Quinn field goal from 50-plus yards. I'll take our A-plus game from every position, but if there's one player on our entire roster that can make the unthinkable happen, it's Quinn. Go Herd. Also from the text line, texter says, Paul, for us to win the East, would Coastal need to lose 2 more in conference? And if we beat JMU, them need to lose 1 more after? Also, what's your prediction on attendance? Nice weather on national TV, needs to be full, but I bet less than 25K. As always, no country roads and go Herd. And that is all assuming that we win out also. Yes, Marshall's got to win out. And then Coastal's got the tiebreaker. So if it comes down to a tiebreaker, Coastal is going to win that tiebreaker. Because head-to-head. And then if Marshall beats JMU, JMU is going to have to lose again because JMU is right now undefeated in conference play. So if JMU can lose twice, then we're going to go to some sort of crazy tiebreaker situation, and that's why I hate this part of the year when if you don't win the games you're supposed to. And for example, if Marshall could have beat Louisiana, we still wouldn't be in this situation. The Herd would control its destiny with just 1 loss against Coastal Carolina and with the potential to beat JMU and win the rest out. So the unfortunate nature of this is that Marshall's got itself in this position where a lot of things have got to happen to get to that point because Coastal's 4-1 in conference right now. Marshall's 2-2, Old Dominion's 3-2. So James Madison's going to have to lose to the Herd and then lose again for Marshall to be tied if Marshall wins out. Coastal is going to have to lose. And so Coastal could lose to James Madison. I don't know if Coastal loses to Georgia Southern. I just don't know. You got Georgia State, Georgia Southern. They take a little diversion at South Carolina, and then they've got James Madison. I mean, honestly, it could be James Madison and Coastal. That could be your game for the East Division right there. So James Madison's going to have to drop at least 1 more for the Herd to even be in this crazy mix-up. It doesn't look good. Marshall's just got to win on Saturday. I think that's going to be the big story. Thanks for tuning in.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.